Welcome back, everybody, to Roy's Ginger, and we're down Debbie, but don't worry, she will be back with shorts.
Hmm.
She had a massive amount of shorts watching Forbidden Door, and my God, they were coming out with nothing else.
I'm traumatized. I had to edit all those fuckers. And then
In
Ray,
fairness, man,
then Ray sent what I think an extra 20, but at least his I could put into like 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minute shorts, combine them together into two shorts to go out. Debbie's were minimum like 2 to 3 minutes for each one. And they were coming through and they're coming through. And my wife is like, for fuck's sake, Andrew. What? And I was just like, yeah, yeah. She broke Instagram and YouTube twice
Fuck's sake.
yes,
because you're only allowed
yes.
you're only allowed 15 per day, like 15 shorts per day, what within a 24
And
hour
what we
time
have to do
time
is get
frame.
the content out there. We're just getting the content out there, and people are loving it,
Yeah,
despite the,
That's
the
it, man.
negative comments from certain people who, don't even deserve the light of day.
yeah. Well, look,
Aye.
I shaved. Can't help being ginger. Can't help being fat. And can't help being a c word. And I definitely don't want to help being a c word. So yeah.
Hey,
Uh,
mate, keep the face for us, man. Join my crowd. Join
uh,
Broadbeard. We're accepting.
well,
Just as
down
Beard
to
and
the
accepting
beard.
as you guys were me.
down to
We've
the
got we've
goatee.
got the
Still
long
got the
hair.
goatee.
Get the long hair crew. Get the beard crew. Come on.
Mm. I still got the
I
goatee.
just look at like a hobo with mines, man.
I gets to a certain point with me, like because like my hair just turns into like a big fucking bowl cut Beatles motherfucker thing,
hmm
and then I've got the
hmm
beard, and it just looks like
My hair curls at the sides of the ears, man. It sucks.
mm-mm. It's a pain in the hole, man. A
Yeah.
pain in the hole. Right, so we'll go for like all of us having here speaking about somebody that's got no hair, and then Steve Austin. So it's something
Give
that
me a hell
so-
yeah.
s- hell yeah.
What?
Uh,
What?
What?
uh, that'll end up being like a video that we'll do one day, and we'll just descend into 40 minutes of us just saying
What?
What?
what.
What?
Just wait for the clips that are coming later on.
Oh man. I can't,
Gotta
I
get
can't,
bum
I can't,
bottled.
I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I'm twitching. I've got my first paid client in 2 years. I've got to prioritize that.
Just retire,
Hey,
man.
mate, prioritise that stuff, man.
Yeah,
That stuff can go up wherever.
I got the dollar coming. What for once? I need to take it.
I'll go
Uh,
for it.
but yeah, so in case anybody is tuning in and wondering what this is, like, this basically came from our WhatsApp group chat about what we were planning on talking about, and I'd went to my bed what 11 o'clock because I'd had like a 48 hour like streak of just constantly doing shit. I was knackered. Woke up the next morning, and all you guys have fired on all these different what if suggestions, and I'm like, that's a lot of info to get in 30 seconds.
hmm
But it gave me an idea. I was like, this could be a new series on the channel, like like WWE What If. And we thought, what's the two kind of main ones that I could pull from that, and the two ones we're going to pull later. We're going to talk about what if Brock didn't break the Undertaker streak. If anybody's watched previous videos on that, you know my answer on this.
Right.
But the main one that we're going to start off, and a lot of fans our era always ask this question, is what if Owen Hart didn't break Stone Cold Steve Austin's neck? For anybody that's maybe new to the channel or weren't aware of this, first of all, how have you went your entire life and not found this out? So,
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert, yep.
Living under a boulder.
Oster was on his first hot streak. He was in an IC title match with Owen Hart. Owen went to do a sit down pile driver, square Austin right in his head to the point where he was paralysed. He had to get put into one of the weakest roll ups that he could. The fact he could do it was amazing.
Aye.
Won the IC
The
title
show still must go on back in the day, man. You know what I
back
mean?
back in the day. That definitely was the case. And then it was just get him rolled up. He was the IC champion, and then very quickly his neck was just fucked. He's like he had to take. He only took I think what was 3 months out when he really
I
should
think
have had longer.
if he didn't take if the neck injury didn't happen, I think he'd have his career longer than what he should have. He'd have bigger matches. Aye, he's went against The Rock
Aye,
and all that, but he
aye.
could have had a lot more coming up, like better matches. Because obviously he'd need to watch what he's doing when he was fighting The Rock at WrestleMania.
Mm.
You know what I mean? He'd need to be careful because imagine if he didn't break his neck, the atmosphere in the match type, they'd be able to fucking rock out, man. Holy shit.
Mm. Well, that actually does bring me to like a question I was going to say for Ray, where you're obviously been doing like your martial arts and stuff like that as well. You're probably a good person to talk about this. Austin's style beforehand was very technical, very clinical. He was compared to Ric Flair at some points in that, and then he had to adapt to the walk and brawl style we all know and love. What because we do love it, because we just love to see him
Aye.
come and beat shit at people. But when it came to that style, what his style previously to that, what were your thoughts on it?
See, kind of the style needs to really fit the character, did it?
Hmm.
So that character he had would that character have worked with the technical style if he had the same sort of technical ability as, say, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, they kind of guys? If he was locking up and stuff, would that have worked for the blue collar? Let's fight with the boss.
Hmm. But at the
I
same,
think that the way it played out did in fact work in his favour. But I agree with Mark on that his career would have been a hell of a lot longer if he didn't have that injury.
well, one thing I noticed, like even when he started to do the walk, because I remember watching a match with Chris Benoit and SmackDown, and it was still he could still go a technical style. He gets
Aye,
suplexed 38 times. What in that match? Because I remember counting it, going, well, this guy
that's
don't just fucking.
unbelievable.
I was like, well, he don't just fucking let him go, because you all know what Benoit's intensity and that was like. Before
Yes,
we obviously and
Oh, I'm gone.
yeah, and a suplex is fucking tough, especially with anybody that's not got a neck injury. Benoit also
Mm.
had like spinal fusion surgery, and neck injuries and
He had
stuff that we know of as
multiple.
well. Loads of them. What so imagine taking 38 of those buggers when you're Austin, when your neck, you basically get told when you got the neck injury the first time, your career is fucked.
Hmm.
The fact that
But
he's
it
still,
just goes to show, man,
mm,
the right willpower, anything can happen, man.
yep, adrenaline is one hell of a drug.
Edge, for
why?
instance, he came back.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a good wee while it took him. And the same
Uh,
with Daniel Bryan. You know what I mean? So,
mm-hmm.
but again, I feel that they're wrestling more dangerously than what they should.
Mm-hmm.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
I definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, aye, because they've got the money to pay for the expensive doctors, and they've got Diamond Dallas Page teaching them how to stretch and how to pose.
Yeah. If DDP hadn't like vetted what he's got, like loads of wrestlers that we know wouldn't be back or wouldn't still be performing right now.
You seen Lex Luger?
Aye,
He's starting to walk now because of that
Seen that?
DDP, man. How
Yeah.
amazing is that? I've told everybody, start doing yoga, man. It will help. Honest to God, it helps with anything.
Mm.
Mhm.
And
It's unreal. Like just like what DDP has done. Like they should change the Warrior Award to the DDP Award because that's a true fucking
100%.
inspiration right there.
He's helped out a hell of a lot of
aye.
athletes out there.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. Well, and Kev, like when we're talking about
I
like
can
Austin
totally
is
imagine DDP yoga making it into the Hall of Fame itself, to be honest.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and when we're talking about like obviously like Austin's wrestling style, Kev, like we've all agreed like he would have had much more matches in the tank, like if that hadn't happened. But the question is, how long do you think he would have lasted? Because physically, he was knackered. If we correct that, it's fine. But mentally, he went through one of the worst rough patches of any wrestler's career before a certain incident in 2007.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he'll have wanted it to go as much longer as his career did. He would have maybe had another 5 years in him mentally. But the things that were changing in the business, him and Vince weren't getting on because he didn't believe the things that Vince had in line for his character. That Stone Cold Steve Austin wouldn't do this. You're wanting to make matches where I lose against a rookie. But
Hmm.
you don't want that. You bring him in,
Mhm.
you build him up as a beast, and then you put him in the main event with Stone Cold Steve Austin. You don't
Hmm.
just put him on SmackDown and make him beat Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's not what you do. But if Stone Cold was still physically healthy because he hadn't broke his neck,
Hmm.
I don't think he'll have still done that. He'll have still walked.
Mm.
because even though he was still being physically fine, like you said, mentally, he wasn't. He was going
Yeah.
through far too much in his personal life, and the painkillers didn't help that with his broken neck. If the painkillers weren't a factor, he'd still have the mental inability to focus on anything that was coming at him, especially with all the shit that Vince was throwing at him at the time.
Mm. That's very,
But
So I'd say
very
maybe
true.
could you,
he would have came back after all that and came back and had maybe another 5 years, maybe another championship run.
could you imagine him winning the World Heavyweight Champion?
Oh, aye.
Mm.
That'd
That,
be pretty cool, man.
yeah. That's a question as well. Like, obviously, you think like he could have lasted maybe another 5 years, so that would have took us into kind of like mid ruthless aggression when like ones like Cena, Batista, Orton, and Lesnar were fully can't go into their prop. Lesnar was obviously a limited window. We all know how that one went down. But do you think he would have been able to work a match like with a Batista or a Cena?
I think he would have managed it, no bother.
Especially with Batista, because he's worked with big guys like that before. And if his technical style was still there, especially with his Stone Cold character, he's still doing that roughneck stomping the shit out of folk, but he's got the technicality behind it. He could stomp the shit out of you and then make you tap out within 3 seconds
Mm.
because he had that ability. And especially with somebody like Batista, who is massive, but at that point in his career, he was explosive and he could move like shit. And he was quite technical as well.
Yeah. Well, do you think that like, with Austin being around, and if he didn't have that injury, and he's still kind of kicking about, and he's got a little bit, maybe lasts a bit longer, maybe another couple of years, say, for his break, because Austin and The Rock went at the same time, and that's when Triple H became a main player. Ray, do you think that that still would have happened? It just would have been like delaying the inevitable, or do you think that could have put a kibosh on it? Because there were several times Austin didn't want to work with Triple H.
I think it could have worked. I think both. I think Triple H would still have became who he was, but I think we'd have got some legendary matches if Austin agreed to work with Triple H.
Mm,
Their chemistry, they're amazing. The
mm.
rivalry would be definitely go down in history. I think it would probably top The Rock and Steve Austin's rivalry at WrestleMania. The build up to that.
Well, that's strong words, right? So the only person that could fight that back realistically would be Ray. So Ray, well, what do you think at that point?
yeah, I agree that it could have potentially led to a lot of good storylines. It could have led to a lot of heated rivalries. But at the same time, I reckon Triple H would still ended up becoming the main player at it all because he's the boss's son-in-law.
Hmm.
There would still be that nepotism when you fucked your way into the right position there, son.
And in fairness, that's when I want to put like like Falcon Winter Soldier meme. He's out of line, but he's right. It's very true. If you're banging the boss's daughter, like you're gonna get there one way or another. It just depends how.
That's it. Triple H played it right, man. He
Mm,
played the right cards, played
yeah,
the right game. That's why he's got the game.
there we go. Well, and then also knackered poor Test as well. What his run? What that'll be another one. What if Triple H didn't do that storyline? What would happen
Exactly,
with
man.
Test?
What
I
if
That's
quite
Triple
like.
H
I
wasn't
enjoyed
there?
Test.
I thought Test was brilliant. I just recently watched a wee wrestling documentary thing on YouTube, and it was about Test and just finding out about like he never wanted to go into the business. Like Bret Hart saw him, and offered to take him on and train him. Some points training him for free.
All right.
So when as much as I think Bret Hart can be a bit of a moany bitch now, but he's still the best that there ever was, the
Now,
best that ever will be. Yeah, well,
now,
I've
now he's
mellowed
over.
slightly. I've mellowed slightly in the last year when I went, God, no more Bret Hart matches covering here, or I will fucking shoot someone.
It's just old age, with him, man, Kim. I mean, old age, and he
Old age,
retired too quickly.
aye, old age. He got the kick heard round the world. The stroke,
Yep.
what? that alters your mental state. You're gonna be better. What? But at some points,
Exactly, man.
but at some point when you're getting called out by a mid card WCW guy telling you to wrap it, well, that's when you know your stock's starting to fall.
Mm-hmm.
Aye.
100%.
Yeah, that's what you've got to worry about. But I think we all agree that like Austin would have had like probably a longer run. Like probably in some cases maybe
Aye.
had like better matches. Do you think that he still would have had just the trilogy of WrestleMania Rock matches, or do you think there would have been more in the tank for him?
They
So
might
I
have
think
done
they've
another
done.
one.
I'll go Kev for this one first because you were talking at the same time.
They might have done another one because if his run lasted a wee bit longer, he'll have been at that point where The Rock came back just for like a couple of shows here and there. They could have brought him back just for another Rock Austin match,
Mm,
just to say who is actually the best, and then Austin wins
Mm-hmm.
obviously because Austin is better than The Rock.
mm.
Yeah, hands down.
Aye, hands down, definitely.
Yeah. Well, do you think that like Rock would have got his WrestleMania win? Because the whole point of like Austin was planning on going out and said that he wanted to lose to the Rock, but it only had to be the Rock. Do you think he would have laid down at that point, or do you think it would have been they would have had a couple more WrestleMania matches and then he would have done that, or Rock would have been like, "Fuck you, I'm off to Hollywood anyway."
I think
He
he'd
might have
still
done
say
one.
fuck you. Aye.
Yeah, I think one more. Well,
I think there could have been one more, but I reckon it would still have went to Hollywood. The money would have been there.
Oh, aye.
mm. Well, we also the way things worked out, Austin eventually made a comeback, and against Kevin Owens, and one of the best matches he had done, even back in his prime.
Oh, aye.
Yeah,
Owens was one of the safest pair of hands you could have had. He could have worked with some great people, but if he was able to bow out kind of on his own terms and still doing the occasional coming back, a stunner here, a stunner there, if storylines had worked out, do you think we would have got that Austin Punk match?
I still
definitely.
think that's in the books,
Well, I
man.
would have loved to have seen that. I
Mm,
would have loved to have seen that where I reckon that would have been interesting to see round about the same time as the pipe bomb.
mm. Well, that was
Like Stone
Yeah.
Cold, Stone Cold coming in and going, "Come on, to fuck, what's you bitching about?"
aye, because it was around the whole time as well. Like, they had that Punk Austin had that sit down interview with JR, and that's when everybody thought
Aye.
they thought, "Fuck, this is going to happen. It's actually going to
Mm-hmm.
happen." Well, but obviously it never did. Well, but could it have actually happened if Austin was fit and maybe pulled Punk aside and just went, "Look, I know you're going through shit. Wrap it the now. Let's get a match out of this, a decent WrestleMania match. After that, do what you want."
I think they could still pull it
Yeah.
off, man. To this day, I think they could still pull it off because Stone Cold, as you said, man, Stone Cold can still go.
Hmm.
See if he's in there with the safe wrestler, then go for it, man.
Hmm.
I'd happily watch him again.
Well, it brings me to like a point I was thinking about because we've talked about like who were the potential ones that he could have worked with that he never got a chance to because of what had happened.
Mm.
But who out of it do you think he would have pulled a Hulk Hogan like that doesn't work for me, brother?
Mm. That's actually good, you know, man.
I
Try to
think
think.
I think Hornswoggle's like an easy one.
Oh no,
So just
No,
tell me Kurt Angle.
he was a total
I
enabler.
reckon he would have been pals with Hornswoggle.
Yeah, I think like he would have been like out helping him and stuff. Like they would have had like this wee kind of. He would have thought he had his buddy, and all of a sudden Austin just turns around, middle fingers him, and stunners the fucker.
And Stills.
Aye.
It's like, but the guy who played Hornswoggle, I've seen him do like interviews and that. He's one funny motherfucker. He would do well on the comedy
Oh,
circuit.
Aye.
definitely, man. He is funny as fuck.
He's brilliant. The stories that he's got as well about from all the times he spent under that ring. Jesus, like he could make like just a 1 hour stand-up show based on just those experiences.
Mhm.
How he fell asleep and he had to get Taker to call him out for the fucking ring.
Aye. I was just about to make reference to the same thing there. He
Yeah.
fell asleep and missed his cue, and Taker questioned, "What happened to you?" I fell
Hmm.
asleep, man. What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
It's sort of by giving Taker a bottle of Jack, and you'll be all good.
Yeah. And again, like that's people that you don't like expect to get along. Hornswoggle and the Dead Man, and they get on like a
Yeah.
house on fire. They're absolutely brilliant.
Aye.
But I think we've covered enough that like if Austin hadn't broke his neck with Owen Hart, There would have been a lot more mileage in him, a lot more gas in the tank. Probably better technically at wrestling, but would have still been doing the walking brawls just because of the character that he was and the era that it was. But we'll go from a brawler to a beast, and not the beast allegedly, just beast incarnate. Well, and that's Brock Lesnar. And what if he didn't beat the Undertaker's streak? Now, I don't know about you guys, but I remember I was kind of away for WrestleMania. Well, kind of away for WWE standpoints, but I always tuned into WrestleMania because I was like, as long as the Undertaker's fighting, I'm tuning
Mhm.
in. Well, the second that he lost at WrestleMania 30, I remember turning around to my mate and just went, "My childhood's ruined. I'm not watching anymore."
I'm not gonna lie, I jumped off my chair and it was in pure shock too. I was like,
Very
no
similar.
fucking way, man.
Mm.
Back at 3 in the morning, I'm shouting, no, no, why did they
Yeah,
do that?
I mean that was the point where I genuinely thought that my mate had spiked my drink.
Am I hallucinating this shit,
Yeah,
man? Oh.
I thought, what the fuck did you put in my glass? And he's like, you're driving and you're my driver. What the fuck do you think you're drinking? And so you saw what I saw? And he's like, aye. I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm out. That's it. Because the first thing that would not have happened with that if he hadn't broke the street, the infamous face, he would not be making that dollar.
No.
Because it's on the thumbnail, it's everywhere. Anytime you Google
I
like WrestleMania 30, you just see that guy's face.
That is a picture though, man.
It was.
the
It
only
just
face
I
that's as
bet that's
famous as that
everybody's
in
face around the
wrestling.
full world, man.
yeah, that was the
The
face
only
of
face
the
that is as
fandom.
famous as that in wrestling memes is the wee guy in bloody Belgium that John Cena pointed at. He's going to be making the same amount of money as that guy in the future.
I not
Yeah.
the green shirt guy as well, too, man.
Mm. Oh, and the Vince one with Stacey Keebler, where it goes through all the facial expressions, where it's just like that. But in fairness, that's what he's like, no matter what, allegedly.
What
He's
they
a
say?
dirty bugger.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll end up having to turn this into a game, like for you guys that drink. Like every time we say allegedly, like you take a shot.
We'd end up pissed, man.
Yeah, it would be like guaranteed. It's like no one would make it like to anything the next day.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. Oh man, it would be brilliant. But obviously, if Brock didn't break the streak, there's still someone that did beat Taker at WrestleMania, and that was
Uh,
when he was still in his big dog era.
I
Do
didn't like
you?
that.
But do you think that still would have happened because Undertaker would have had a bit more clout?
I
I
don't think
think
it would have.
uh, I don't know. I
I
think
don't think
Roman
it would
Reigns
have.
would have been the one that did it. If Brock Lesnar didn't beat the streak, I think Roman Reigns would have done it because Roman Reigns was so far up Vince McMahon's arse, man. He could taste the shit, man.
Allegedly.
Yes. Let's take
Mm.
a shot.
Yes, we'll take a shot for that one because I'm sure Roman Reigns did.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. There we go. But yeah, so obviously with that one with Roman Reigns, so you think about all the people that refused. Edge was the prime example.
hmm
Well, that they were all very much in agreement. Edge breaks the streak, and he went no.
Now
So
that'd be pretty cool if Edge broke the streak.
mm. Another one that looked like he could beat the streak was CM Punk.
That would have,
it was an outsider's like shot, but the way they built him up and the way if it wasn't CM Punk in that angle, it wouldn't have worked. If they tried the same
Mm.
story with a different wrestler, it wouldn't have worked.
no, definitely wouldn't have.
But you also think about what another little what if that ties in with the streak. What if the ref accidentally slipped at that 2.99999 count in that infamous match where like Triple H and Shawn Michaels, a special guest referee, if they just missed his cue by that point one of a second, and it was like fuck, it really was a three. How there would have been literal hell in that cell.
Vince McMahon would be strutting down, pulling his fucking both quads, be like, "Yo!"
Yes.
Mercy legs. Don't do that
Uh,
again. Better match again.
Oh man, that's another one that will live in infamy. Just that, like a 60-year-old man like taking like a 2-year-old's tantrum.
Aye.
That's
Aye.
amazing. That's
Well, that's what rich guys are like.
mm,
Come I mean?
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
we all know that allegedly.
Take a shot.
Take a shot. But when we look at, well, obviously Undertaker's like that match itself as well. Taker, the bump to the head, knocked out cold.
Oh no.
Pretty much thought he was gonna die. Do you think that he
Yeah.
would have actually lasted to complete the finish proper if it was a case of he was meant to win?
After
Mm,
that bump, I don't think so.
I don't think he would have, no.
I don't know. Like he's the exact same as Sting. See when Sting was fighting Seth Rollins and he gave him the turnbuckle powerbomb
Yeah.
and it fucked his neck. Sting could barely walk, but he still ended up continuing that match.
Hmm.
No, I think Undertaker would. I think he would have done that. He would have continued and tried to do his damn best because again, we'll reflect back what it says. It's you keep going on. It's best for business. He was in the olden days. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
that's what his line of work was. If you get injured during the match, you best fucking keep going on because you're making money.
Yeah. There's no denying, like, because even with what happened and it happened, Taker was still in the match. He
Hmm.
was still doing it. Like, you could tell you're like, something is no right here. The
He was
fact that
away.
when
Aye,
Vince
the
McMahon
lights
leaves,
were definitely on, but maybe the same.
when Vince McMahon leaves WrestleMania,
Aye.
because he thinks Taker's gonna die. No matter what he said in that fucking documentary, that McMahon documentary, that was a puff piece from hell.
Hmm.
Well,
Aye.
up until the last episode. Well, but the
He
fact
kissed
that
my
Allegedly.
pecker.
allegedly, eh, but the fact that like he went to the hospital because they basically thought he's the literal dead man. It just showed you how bad it was. But when you look at like the ripple effect of that as well, a lot of people don't remember that Lesnar was losing a lot more matches than he was winning when he came back because he was being made he was given the you're going to eat shit and learn to like the taste of it treatment because of how he left in 2004. Then he gets that win against the dead man and the aura's back, the mystique's back. Like the you will we all know you're gonna die when you face Brock Lesnar, but it was more a case of he he finally got his control that he really, really wanted with, I can take this title for 500 days and only defend it 3 times if you're lucky. Fuck you.
Mm.
I've got Paul Heyman constantly. Fuck you. It's like I can throw my belt at Vince and he's not going to do fuck all about it. Screw you, Matt Riddle. Screw you. But he turned into the arsehole that we all know Brock to be,
Yes.
allegedly.
Turn into a dick.
An absolute walloper of the highest order, but one that will kill you with just a glance. But do you
Hmm.
think that if he didn't get that streak win, do you think he still would have been having to suffer some consequences?
Definitely.
I think he would still be suffering, but he would eventually have climbed up somehow.
Hmm.
There would have been some sort of storyline win that would get him on the crowd side again.
Hmm. Because it even leads to things like they might not have had, the Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, well, all the shite of that, but they also wouldn't have had Tribal Chief v Cowboy Brock,
Mm,
which was their apex. 'Cause I still think that was one brilliant where Lesnar just throws the mic at Reigns and he just catches it one handed, just like, eh. One of
Balls.
one of the most baller moves that you could do. And this is a guy that came to the ring in a fucking truck. Like a fucking
Aye.
like a big ass tractor.
Mm.
Just there, bump. It's the only time I got Alison to watch wrestling because she grew up on a farm.
Cowboy Brock Lesnar was amazing.
Yeah. It was absolutely unreal. I never thought I could actually like Brock Lesnar because
It, it
yeah.
was good that they've managed to change up his role because he was literally just throughout all the wrestlers they change, but he was a basic
Yeah.
big dude. He didn't really change as much. Even when he came into the WWE, like when he returned, he was still that fucking the big beast. But
Hmm.
throughout the career, he managed to I don't know, it might be old age, but I started to enjoying his run, especially when he came back and won the Money in Bank as well too.
Hmm.
And he started doing the beatbox, like the
Yeah.
dancing, and that, the ring man. But I
Yeah.
thought like they did it. They did his character really well, so they did, and it goes to show they can keep doing it. I'm
Mm,
going to enjoy this run even better because I think this is going to be. I think this will reflect back to his olden days.
mm. It could be an interesting run, what depending on
Hmm.
what's and playing on how they play it. Because if they don't play it
They
right,
play it.
if yeah, allegedly if they play it, but it's like seeing this heel turn. We were wanting that for God knows how long. We finally got it, but the creative
And
fucked it.
it was lame. It was. No,
What
it wasn't lame. I enjoyed it, but
there was
it could have
the
been a lot better.
CM Punk Cena was the only part of that that I liked, which I
Hmm.
genuinely
Aye.
enjoyed. What, but at the same time, you look at like Brock Lesnar as well. Like we've got to ask this question. It's been asked so many times by so many people, and we'll start with Ray. Was Brock the right person to beat the streak first time?
No, I would have said the correct person to beat the streak, and tell me if I'm wrong if you like, but I would have said Bray Wyatt later on.
Mm, interesting one.
They
What?
had the squash match with Bray Wyatt. I believe Bray Wyatt actually had a broken ankle during that match as well. That's why it ended up running. It was a short a match. They had planned it for longer, but
Mm,
something happened. If Bray Wyatt during his Fiend, the Eater of Worlds, the new face of fear, if
mm.
the streak couldn't have been beaten till then, it could have sent Bray's character, like skyrocket his character straight to the Hall of Fame with that.
Mm. Mark?
Could have even
The
developed
dead
his
man being
character
Bray
into
Wyatt.
betterness.
Yeah. Well, Mark, do you think Brock was the right call?
I know. I would say he was the right person, but they should have did it a lot better build up for the match.
Mm.
Because if I remember right, did they make him? It was pretty much Brock Lesnar or ever Undertaker at WrestleMania when he beat the streak. Or am I wrong with saying that?
Yeah.
I
Well,
feel.
they never. Well, this is again an allegedly, but not in a sexual harassment way. This is just like from what being said at the time, is that it wasn't actually meant to be losing what in his streak, and then Vince just decided on the day the
It's
streak
got
was
to
done.
happen.
The streak was done. What in it, and it kind of pissed Taker off, but he was like, "Well, he's always done best for business." What, and that was basically what happened, which is why the build was shit.
Mm,
So
no, it's true enough.
yeah, but still, but yeah. So we got your kind of one of like yes, yes and no. What, Kev? What about you?
Mhm.
I have to agree with Ray. I think it should have been Bray Wyatt because you think about the character that Bray Wyatt was. He was like the next big supernatural person that was coming in.
Hmm.
So him coming in, breaking the streak, and becoming the ultimate supernatural power in the WWE, that would have been like a passing of the torch to the next person. And then you could have had matches with Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor as the
Mhm.
demon. Like months of matches with they two would have been fantastic. But they shot the bed with Bray
Hmm.
and they didn't treat him right because Vince had fell out with his dad
Hmm.
Mm.
That's
and
Vince
he
true.
took
McMahon
it
being
out
a
in the road,
child yet again.
Yep.
allegedly. Allegedly.
Hmm. Well, not
I
allegedly.
was allegedly about
Not
that one. They was
not
definitely a
allegedly.
child there.
Yeah, but not allegedly. Biologically, he was once a child. So there we go. Right.
He was a
Well.
lizard.
But because
Yeah.
Vince
He's royal
fell out,
family. Royal family lizard people. There we go. We've got it. Mm.
Yes.
Right.
It's very good.
Yeah. I'll end it with mine. Let's this just as we always do at the end because I'm a shite bag and that way I don't get challenged too much. Uh, I don't think Brock was the right person to beat the streak. But I don't think Roman Reigns is right either.
Hmm.
I don't think the streak should have ever been broken.
But do you think he
hmm,
should have retired with the streak?
Should have retired with the streak. If there was anybody in the business that worked the way
Aye.
he did, that was as loyal to the company that he was, that did everything best for business, everything right, even when he didn't agree with it, he still done it, and it was did what
Hmm.
was best for business. If any wrestler on this planet deserved to have that type of streak remain intact, and still have end with his boneyard match, AJ Styles literally riding off in the sunset on a perfect streak.
Yes, that'd have been perfect. I agree with you on that one. Aye.
Would have been brilliant. Like, well, I totally understand the Bray Wyatt point, but as you said, they never pulled the trigger. They shat the bed because they were just petty with him.
Mhm.
And and Taker did still give him his blessing eventually. I still remember that on Raw, where he just whispered into his ear. We'll never know what was said, but you knew there's a passing of the torch moment here.
Aye.
It was a farted in the ring. Can you smell
If you smell what the Rock is cooking,
that?
there's like,
Can I just add though, before we finish, now that Taker doesn't have a streak, the only person that is undefeated at WrestleMania is Michael Cole.
and that is a perfect reason why the streak should never have been broken.
Yeah.
Yep. So on that
Michael
note,
Cole is undefeated at WrestleMania.
yeah. So on that note, because we are literally less than a minute, we'll call it there. Well, guys, we're definitely going to be keeping carrying these on. I look forward to the next What If ones that we do.
Yes.
You know,
It's gonna
man,
be
I
fun.
like that.
We'll get the idea from the group soon.
Oh yeah, well, just don't do it when I'm asleep and I wake up to all those messages again. Until next time, everybody. We have been Raw as Ginger. Yes, you're all honorary gingers. You're now part of the 2%. So until next time, I'll see you later.
2%.
Yeah.